Well, it is starting to warm up. The ice is coming off the lakes, they're coming off the rivers, and to me, that means it's bow fishing season. So, we are going to go over our 2024 bow fishing goals here. I'm really hoping this year is honestly just an absolutely incredible year. Last spring, I ended up picking up a 2072. I mean, it is an absolute giant boat, and I've never owned a boat that big. So not to be restricted by, small boat, I can only put so many fish in, constantly having to, unload every 2-3 hours. I could, very possibly be able to shoot the entire night and never have to unload. So that's going to be absolutely huge for me videoing everything. So hopefully everything goes good, but here is my goals. The very first one on here is just plain and simple loads of film. Me trying to do, YouTube full-time now, I need to get a lot of film. I ended up picking up a GoPro. I'm going to put a filming pole on the GoPro, and we're going to shoot a pile of fish this year. Like I said, I can shoot all night long. I can use the GoPro the entire night. I got a big SD card for it. I mean, the possibility to have an absolute pile of fish in the boat with all of it on film is very possible. So I'm really excited for that this year. The next one down here, we got Show the Boys the Spawn. I have seen some absolutely incredible spawns, especially carp. Seen it where, dogfish is a little bit colder weather fish, but seen it where, you'll go through and see 60, 70, 80 dogfish in, the lights. A whole bunch of gar, but the biggest thing on there is just being able to show them the carp spawn. I think they'll have a lot of fun being able to sit there and watch all the males push that female, the splashing, get a couple pods here and there going. I think it'll be an absolute blast for them. And to be able to do that is, it's basically mostly all the time a daytime thing. They're going to be able to go out with me. I can shoot fish, show them how to shoot fish. They can possibly shoot their own fish. I mean, if I can show them the spawn, I think I'm going to have them hooked, and I'm going to have bow fishing partners for life. So, speaking of that, the next one here is win the Great Lakes Bow Fishing Championship. I guess to start this one, we're going to take you back a long time ago. This year, 2024, come May, is going to mark my 26th year bow fishing, which doesn't seem like it's possible, being that I'll be 30 years old then. But I started at a very young age, and I was instantly hooked. Fishing, bow, my dad's the one that introduced it to me. We would go down to the ditches, and what he would do is I'd be at the bottom of the ditch, and I couldn't run up the ditch because, it's an incline. So he'd be at one side of the ditch, or he'd be inside the water, and I would stand in a spot, and he would push the fish and push them towards me, and then I'd shoot. 9 times out of 10, I would miss. I was just a little guy at the time. And after that, he would have to either, try to stop the fish to push them back up towards me, or he'd have to, hop out of the water, go downstream, go back in, chase them back up, chase them to me. I couldn't go up that big of a hill at, 4 or 5 years old. So I definitely owe all of this to him on that one. But at 26 years, there's always been one thing that, he's been telling me about this entire time, and that was GLBC. So even from that age, I wasn't old enough to really compete in that tournament. He's not really too much of that sort of competitiveness and, hunting and fishing, stuff like that either. So, I heard about this tournament for, 10, 12 years. Well, go into being 18, I got to do my first GLBC, and we only shot like 30, 40 pounds that year. So big, huge learning curve going from, fun shooting to trying to shoot a tournament like that. But for me, that tournament, and I guess kind of the state of Michigan too. It's got a something is just special in my heart about that tournament. It's a day shoot. The camaraderie is just huge. You can go there, and whether you want to be super competitive or just laid back, go out and have some fun. I mean, there's people there that does it all, and it's accepting to everybody. So, that tournament to me just really means a lot. Now, fast forward to the last couple of years, and with my success into it, I've won 2019. 2020 was a COVID year, so we never got to shoot. Won 2021. 2022 ended up taking like 15th place, and then 2023 ended up winning. So, in 40 years, I've won it. In 40 years of the tournament going on, I've won it 3 times. There's only been one other guy that has won it 3 times. He was there, near the beginning, in the beginning basically, and so he's still alive, but he's up there in his age and years. But I'm still young. I'm still in my prime. I've won it 3 times. I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when do I win the 4th one. But nobody's won 4. So I'm a goal-oriented person. That is something that I want badly. I want to be up there, and it's not really to be cocky about it. I want my name cemented with this. So winning 4 to me, if you guys are competing against me, just know, just like the previous 3, you're going to get my very best, and I'm going to damn near kill myself scouting and searching and covering water, and you're going to get the very best you can out of me for that. And the next one here, same goes for this one, is actually the Loxley tournament. That will be the following weekend. GLBC's June 1st and 2nd. There should be, don't quote me on it, but he hasn't announced it yet. Loxley will be the following weekend. So I've been working with Loxley for the past, I think this will be year 3 or 4. And with me working with them, great group of guys, the 3 guys that run it, run the company. So I'm going to, great group of guys. I mean, they've treated me extremely well over the last couple of years. They started the tournament. It's pretty cool actually seeing myself as, the logo of the tournament. You got that. They, I write the articles and things like that. So they've been extremely well, good to me. And they've also let me, I guess, express or, show myself out there with the articles and the pictures and everything. So it's, something I cherish for them. But anyways, they've got a title belt. And it's like a wrestling championship or a boxing championship. They've got a title belt. And like I said, I'm goal-oriented, and I want one. So the last couple of years, this is going to be the 3rd year they're running it. The first year I got 3rd. Last year I got 2nd. Maybe this is the year. Maybe we're just going to keep stepping up, and maybe this is the year we win it. So I don't know, but that's the exact same thing. But the problem with that one is that is a Big Ten, and that is more of a scavenger hunt type of tournament. So you're allowed 5 fish of one species, which would be, carp or whatever. But the other 5 fish, last year, goldfish was worth 20 pounds. Dogfish was triple the weight, So I don't know what they're doing this year. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I work with them. They keep it from me too. So everything is fair. Everything's good. But it's hard to scout for a tournament when you don't know what the other stipulations to it. Luckily, I have a lot of knowledge in the area of a lot of bodies of water, where to find the fish, so it's going to help out. But it's still really fun day shoot to go to. The next one here is something I've actually been trying for the last, 4 or 5 years now, and that is a Michigan grassy. There's not really too many fish that's eluded me, especially for me being able to figure out where they are you know, where they are, why they're there, what time of the year, what they're doing, you know, when to key in on that spot or that species of fish. There's not really too much that I haven't been able to find out and figure out. But grass carp, to me, I've seen one in my life in the water. I've seen one out, you know, I've seen one that somebody has shot, but I've never seen one in the water. I've only seen one in the water. So a lot of my experience with trying to figure these fish out is basically research, online research, talking to people from other states who, you know, consistently shoots them, things like that. But with how, you know, there might be 5-6 shot a year, with how little the population is in the state of Michigan and how widespread it is, it's going to be a tough one to accomplish. But I'd like to chase it this year, you know, especially without filming and everything else. I'd like to chase it this year. I'd like to be able to say I've shot one. The next one on here, and this is definitely a personal goal for mine. It's been a personal goal for years now. Like I said, I've went from, you know, 1548, 1648, and 1848. I've always had to unload. Well, this year, not being able to unload, I hope it's my year for this, but I want to solo 300 fish. Like I said, I don't want to sound cocky when I say this. I know I can shoot that many fish. I know I can shoot that good. Even on YouTube, I've got 101 fish in 3 hours. I mean, if you gave me a full 9-10 hour stretch and had those fish, I could have done it. I ended up having to work the following day, so that's kind of what messed that one up. But, you know, I've had the opportunity. I've had the fish. I just have never been able to actually, I guess, have the equipment to do it. So that's going to be a high priority on my list of this year is I want to solo 300. So we will see. It's not all the time I get to go out by myself. I do fish a lot by myself, but it's not all the time I get into that big of a pot of fish or, you know, have that many spots lined up to be able to shoot that many fish. So definitely a goal. Hopefully it's feasible. Hopefully I get lucky. Obviously weather plays an effect, you know, time of the year, things like that. So I don't know. We'll see. But the very last thing on this list, and it kind of goes back up to the top one, and can go in the last one, is I want to shoot 3,000 fish on camera. I think it's possible. I think not really fully, I guess I got shoot 3,000 fish. It's not really exactly on camera, but that's kind of the goal. But I've done a little over 2,000 a couple times. Like I said, I've kind of shot, you know, shot a lot of the tournaments that I got to count the fish, got to shoot a lot of fun shoots to get it at the exact same time, but I've never actually topped that 3,000 fish mark, especially in one of my own boats. So that's going to be something for me this year is that, you know, if we're shooting a lot of fish, we're getting a lot of film, I want to top that 3,000 fish in a year. I think it's an achievable goal. I think it's something that we can do. It's just a matter of going out, putting in the time, and doing the work. So that basically wraps it up. You know, I got I got 7 goals here. I don't know exactly when to call my bow fishing season over because I'll shoot fish all the way into December and January. As long as the rivers ain't froze, I'll go still shoot fish. I found a pile of fish in that late season when they're schooled up. Different time of the year, obviously. But I don't know exactly when we're going to consider this completed. Maybe we'll put a check mark as we go throughout the year. But I don't know. Let's see how it goes. And hopefully this year's my best year yet. And hopefully I can accomplish all of these, honestly. I'm going to definitely try my hardest, but we'll see what happens. So hopefully you'll join me on this journey, and hopefully we'll get there. So stay tuned.